Hi, this is Jeff of the Dirt Sailor Squad. Today is Saturday, April the 4th, 2020. On today's show, we'll be joined by musical guest Carlos Olmeda, and we'll be introducing a few new segments to our show where we'll be discussing backyard marathons, death by sword fight, and getting dosed at church. Like and follow our podcast on facebook.com/The Dirt Sailors, and you can find our videos posted on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button below. Below. Drop a comment if you have ideas for content, and as always, thank you for watching. What is up? This is Jeff of the Dirt Sailor Squad. How you doing, Christian? We are coming at you, not live, but it is Sunday, April 5th, 2020, not originally September 4th. Saturday, as we intended. We'll get into that. We're a group of Coast Guard veterans who got together, put on a podcast for you. And to start off with, we're going to take it up with Zippy, man. How you doing tonight, brother?
Good, buddy. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. It's been a hell of a week, I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely.
But, yeah. So how are things?
Good. Pennsylvania's good. That's where I'm coming out of here. Nothing much going on here, except probably the closest one to New York, which is the crazy spot. But we're doing well. Everybody's good that I know, so I'm happy for that. And I'm maintaining my sanity the best I can. So all is well.
How are you maintaining your sanity?
Alcohol. Much
I definitely understand that one. So next we have Josh. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
That's good.
Hanging out here in our first cloudy day in Florida in like months.
Yeah, true.
What's the temperature there?
I think it's been in the 80s. It hasn't been too hot.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's perfect out right now. So
we are still in the 50s and 60s here.
Oh no, it's in the 60s right now.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, good being outside weather. John, how you doing, man?
Doing fine, man. How about yourself?
Good. How's Indiana treating you?
Oh, not too bad. About the same temperature here as I'm sure it is over there in Ohio for you.
Yeah.
Can't really complain too much for this time of year.
So how you been occupying your time during the COVID scare?
Lots of video games, lots of alcohol. That's about it. Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing here.
Christian, how are you doing, man?
Yo, I'm hanging in there. Maintaining from, well, it's like Josh said, it's cloudy down here in Sarasota. It's actually chilly. I'm going to put on a sweatshirt. It's probably, I would say, 62 degrees, which is like freezing.
Yeah, and we are being joined tonight by our guest, Carlos Olmeda, and we'll definitely get into more with him later. But first off, Carlos, where are you calling it, or where are you joining us from, and how you doing, man?
I'm hailing from Maine. I'm in a little
Wow.
in Maine, about 45 minutes out of Portland.
Okay.
Wow.
And hearing everyone go, "Oh, it's kind of cold. It's 65 degrees."
That's swimming.
I used to think that way myself, man. If I was in 65-degree weather, I'd be like jacket and all bundled up.
Oh, yeah. We tropical people down here.
Oh, the Florida, you can't handle cold once you live down here for a while.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You coming from Arizona, too? Whew.
No, I'm sure.
And I think all of us that were on the Campbell were in Portland at one time. It was one of our port calls in the beginning.
Yeah, so if you were in the Coast Guard and joining us, we were all shipmates on the Coast Guard cutter Campbell.
Yes,
And-
here. I'll show you.
Yeah, we can see it. But please get it off the wall for the people who really can't see.
Yeah.
I don't think we have
It
braille
was
format.
You know what? I never got a life
Relocated.
ring.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into it. So yeah, we were supposed to have a show tomorrow night or last night, excuse me. And it just didn't happen. And I have to say that was definitely my fault. I dropped the ball last night. Trying to play with my phone because we have other stuff going on, but let me set my phone down and just talk to you guys. So last night we were supposed to have a show, and I messaged everybody at some point how the show was going and like what time to be on, and it sounded like it was going to be something good, and I was fine. And then about 7:30 I started to just get anxiety. I haven't had anxiety for a while. I haven't even taken, part of the issue is I've been off my medication for a while. It's with everything going on, you know, I have been at home. I've been relaxed. I've been living supposedly my best life, but I haven't been taking care of myself mentally. And I'm sure maybe a lot of other people are not right now either. It's a weird time. We're all locked inside our house. This is something we've never experienced before. And I gave myself the benefit of the doubt that I could put my mental health on hold. And that wasn't the case. So about 7:30 last night, I started just getting really, really anxious. And then 8 o'clock hit, and I started doing this crazy pacing around my house. And by 8:15, I started hyperventilating. And 8:30, I started damn near having blackouts. And then I just had to retreat to my bed. And I wanted to just get my wits together, have a woosah moment for a second, and that just didn't work out. I had a full-blown anxiety attack last night, and there wasn't even a real – I do know a couple things that contributed to it, but it was one of those moments that you can't predict, and I just needed to take a little time for myself last night. And I know you guys were calling me, and you were wondering, like, what's going on. We had the scheduled time to be on. And I wasn't there, and I definitely apologize for that. But I wanted to at least let you all know exactly what happened last night, as far as last night's show. So that's what happened. Feel free to ask me anything, you say anything.
It's all good, man. We all have our moments.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wouldn't beat yourself up too bad.
Hell no.
Go ahead.
I'm in a perpetual state of anxiety. That's why I'm yes. Trying to relax. Just relax. Just relax.
Yeah.
I was feeling you yesterday. I could feel your stress, and I was feeling that same stress because I don't know shit about the technology of how to do this other than wanting it to happen automatically. I don't want to have to do 10 functions to do one function because I'm resentful that the computer was supposed to give me convenience in my life. Like channel changer. I used to go channel 10. Look, I'm watching TV. Wasn't that fun? You know what I mean? Going to this, having to do 10 things to do one thing. Like, let someone else handle that. So, no, I understand the stress.
Yeah.
So doesn't even know how to use the computer, this guy, which is
I definitely appreciate everyone's flexibility and allowance to let me have a round two at this, because yesterday it was just a bad day. And we can start the show, since this is happy hour, raising our glasses. Everybody got a glass they can raise?
I gotta grab one. Be right back.
Man. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have a drink while
drops the ball on that shit.
Raise his proverbial.
Yes, Christian. Zippy dropped the ball. Let him have it. So what's everybody drinking tonight?
Iced tea.
Iced tea. All right. The highly Christian man. Wait, no, Josh, there is a serious question about that though. Is it sweet or unsweet?
Normally it's unsweet, but it's sweet tonight.
I prefer unsweet tea as well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you prefer it, but that's my preference. Unsweet tea with or without lemon.
I prefer sweet tea, but there's just so much sugar in it especially down here. They make it like crazy. So
Yeah.
I usually get unsweet tea.
Wow. John, what do you drink?
Drinking Fat Tire, as almost always.
Fat
Yes.
Tire.
Yes.
Very good drink. Very good drink.
Guys, I'm going to be right back. Hang on.
Okay. All right.
I got my drink now. I'm all set.
Okay. All right. Zippy, is that a 7 and 7? I'm
Yes,
guessing.
it is.
I can tell. All right. So we will raise that. I gotta give a toast. Okay. To the drinking. They always remind us about, but the thirst they always forget.
Yeah, very good. Nice.
Okay. Let's get in it. We are in it.
What I'm drinking? Lemon lime 0 sugar Sprite.
Ooh, better slow down on that.
Stuff.
Better slow down.
Crazy. Crazy.
Where's the sugar, man? Where's the
I'm
sugar?
in the middle of nowhere.
So the first thing that I thought we should talk about tonight and this is something that I was thinking about yesterday, and this had to do with a little bit of what was going on. It's we're doing this, we're all having fun. This is in a week. This is the 5th one that we've done. So this is our second happy hour. We've had 2 coffee breaks, and it's actually our 3rd happy hour. The first one we did as a dry run, and we didn't record. So this is going well. We're having fun doing it. Realistically, how many episodes do you feel that each of you have in you to commit? Is this just something you're doing for fun right now, which is great, we're having a good time? Or is this something where you can see yourself doing a few more episodes, or maybe just going the distance? So Josh, I'm looking at you right now. So how do you feel about it?
I mean, I'll stick around. We got some crazy stories, so it's worth sharing some of this stuff with the world.
That's
true. And it's I'm going to college right now, but pretty shortly I'm going to be done with all of that, and I'm going to have a bunch of free time on my hands. So
how's college going?
It sucks.
But you don't have long.
No, a couple weeks. It's just trying to get motivated to do anything right now. So I can't. It's just impossible to get motivated.
I just finished an assignment right before I logged on here, and I just had to force myself to do that.
So I'm working on a research paper about
work, or what are you doing?
What was that?
College. What is it? Postgraduate work or?
No. I'm working on a practical ministry degree, so studying to be a pastor.
Oh.
Yeah, big direction shift in my life.
Josh, let me ask you this. This is something that we have never dealt with before. You've never dealt with. Nobody we know has ever dealt with what's going on. And if you're watching this for the first time, months later, years later, I don't know. So what's going on right now is we're all locked inside. This is during the big COVID crisis. We're all sequestered in our houses. We're told not to go outside. We're told that if we do go outside, wear essentially hazmat suits. And it's just a really odd time. And Josh, you go to a Christian school, and I do know that you are Christian. And is this something that is challenging to your faith, or is it just one of those things that happens? Do you have any just anything you can say about that?
It's not challenging to my faith. I've experienced things, I've been through things that you can't break that from me. I think it's just part of some of the things that happen in this world. It's just things happen and it's getting out of control, and we just see what happens here. It looks like things are actually starting to slow down. New York City had a first time, I think yesterday, a decline in deaths. So I think, I don't know if that makes sense.
To adapt to.
Yeah.
To adapt to.
Okay, so Josh, I just talked to you, Josh. Zippy, Rob, His name is definitely Rob, but he got the nickname Zippy by some guy who played a guitar on our boat. But so Zippy, you have been my right hand through each one of these shows. Realistically, how many more do you think you have in you?
I have enough to do many. You know what I mean? I don't I don't go out that much anymore. I mean, once in a while, but with the family and school and stuff, there's not much things. So most of my stuff is done at night or chilling, and staying in is never a bad thing. I don't like a lot of the college kids and partying and stuff all the time. Not that I don't like them. I don't have a lot in common too much anymore. I lived the pre-cell phone days, and most of them don't know how to put it down. So it's different. So I'm usually home having drinks anyway. So why not have our own virtual bar?
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
So the question was put out, and I need to like go back to Christian. And man, I hope you don't scream at me, but I just feel the tension coming from Christian. Brother, when you leave the room, can you shut the door behind you?
Or pause it?
Like, what do you mean? Fucking slam it?
No, close the door. We can hear everything going on around you.
Honestly, slamming would be cool. Like, at least we wouldn't hear the nonsense or whatever you're talking about.
Or just me taking a shit.
If that's what you're gonna bring to the show, then take a shit.
All right.
Oh my God, he is
Well,
the hottest of messes.
You know, you got to wear that hat fucking right.
Absolutely. That's the key to life right there, brother. Wear your hat right.
Exactly.
Christian, so I'm afraid to even ask you. I put the question out to the group. How many more episodes do you think you have in you? Can you keep going on?
Like, I'll tell you what, we're gonna go nationwide with this shit. So, I mean, when we start getting the hits on fucking YouTube and all that shit, and I can just sit home and I'll get one of those big fancy mics, like your brother got in front of him and
That's
shit
my
like
cousin.
that. Oh, your cousin. Yeah, and then fucking have a fucking Tiger with fucking Joe Exotic, fucking like, holy shit, man. No, we're going far now. Now I got some ideas.
Hey,
did
you
guys
going
to the Halloween store and shit? We're gonna put on costumes and shit.
Hey, did you hear they're doing another episode of Tiger King next week?
Yeah,
I did. Really?
Yeah. There's one more episode coming out.
It's like bonus tracks.
I have no idea.
Who knows?
Tiger King
behind the scenes.
In his
broken out of jail.
They found
Tiger,
that old alligator.
Joe
place.
Exotic's got the coronavirus.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Does he really?
Before we start talking about Joe Exotic, I gotta take it to Jonathan now, my cousin John, who was not a coastie like the rest of us, but he's been here. He's working.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate definitely his input he's given me because the man has ran a few podcasts to this day. And he has been someone I've bounced ideas off of, and he's been there. And I want to ask you, John, I definitely appreciate you being here.
Glad
Now,
to be here.
Yeah, definitely. Is this something that you're just kind of helping me get started on, or are you having fun hanging out, and would you like to be part of the show?
I'm down for an excuse to drink and talk a lot of shit. So hey, works.
Yeah, this is a good group. We can't really do much else than that. So that's good to know.
Hell yeah, man.
Good. So that was part of what was going on yesterday. To this show today I was doing right now, we've all gotten together and we've all talked and we have fun just being a group of guys drinking and catching up, and we've actually gotten some cool recordings. But this is the first episode where I have considered, doing a format, and I did do a format, and things just got to my head a little bit yesterday, and I wasn't sure everyone was on the same page I was, so I needed to take a breather. And that was one question I definitely wanted to ask. So I'm glad that everyone's on the same page.
What else do we have to do? We're trapped in our fucking houses.
What was
Are you
that?
playing with chickens?
Is that a,
Who's got a chicken under their desk?
Goddamn chicken
It's
fuckers
that
coming
time
out.
of the show. It's that time
Somebody
of the show.
choking the chicken.
It is our weekly news rewind, and
Rewind.
it is our news rewind. So in this week's news, let me turn down some of the news for you. Our first news topic: British man thwarts lockdown by running marathon in his backyard. James Campbell spent his 32nd birthday on Wednesday by running at least, how many times do you think he ran in his backyard to get a marathon?
He had to do, what is that, 26.3 miles, something like that?
Yeah,
26.2.
How big's his backyard?
Yeah, that's.
Well, then you got to do it. So it was, one way was 20 feet.
Ooh, wow.
Good Lord.
20
So being stuck at home didn't stop a British man from running an outdoor marathon. James Campbell, a former professional javelin thrower, spent his 32nd birthday on Wednesday doing 6-meter, 20-foot shuttles from one end of his small backyard to the other, after promising to run a marathon if one of his Twitter messages received 10,000 retweets. By the time Campbell completed the marathon in just over 5 hours, he had raised more than 18,000 pounds, which is about $22,000, for Britain's National Health Service to help battle the coronavirus pandemic. So this guy spent 5 hours running a marathon in his backyard, which 5 hours to run a marathon isn't too bad anyway.
No, it's usually what it is, right? I think the grand champions are 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Like
yeah,
that.
3.5. But I mean, if the guy was in his backyard, he was probably maybe taking a restroom break or two, and he just wanted to run it. But 5 hours is a good pace.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No.
Now, Zippy, this reminded me of a story that you told me when it was you or your brother, when you guys were kids. You were grounded, maybe house arrest. I don't remember what the story was, where you guys built a backyard golf course in your backyard.
Yeah.
Your brother did. What happened with that?
He was on house arrest, so he couldn't go too far, and so he made a golf course through the house and around the house, like on little par 3 pitching wedges, things on rocks and everything. And that's what he did. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
How many holes?
9.
You did 9 holes?
Yeah. He did. It was the craziest thing I ever saw. I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, man. But you can't go too far because you can only be so far from the phone. So you got to go around and up, and he had different things, holes on top of holes. It was pretty neat. Locked up. That's what does it.
And we're on house arrest now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all on house arrest now. So yeah, running a marathon. Let's see about it. So our next story is search for Robert F. Kennedy's granddaughter and her young son shifts from rescue to recovery, Mother says.
Listen.
And if you haven't heard this story,
little space online.
If you haven't heard this story, it's the search for Maeve Kennedy McKean and her 8-year-old son Gideon were riding a canoe, and it was off the Chesapeake Bay on Thursday evening, and they simply just disappeared.
Kennedy curse.
Yep.
Kennedy
That's what I said.
And I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we were on the Campbell, do you guys remember when we did the search for John F. Kennedy Jr.'s downed airplane?
Yeah, we got recalled for that, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a holiday. I wanted to say Martin Luther King Day or something, and we
were already out at sea. So what actually happened with that is
weren't we supposed to pull in?
No, we were like a double backup. So we were
just
there. We were
Zippy's
sitting.
Zippy's right. So what happened was I was the watchstander that night, and I got a message, and we were not the command task unit on this, but we were supposed to pull support. John F. Kennedy's Jr. plane went down, and they had no idea where it was, and we were about, I don't know, maybe 100 miles from it. So we got tasked to be support, and they made an announcement on the ship that night. And even though we were not the unit tasked to do it, we put ourselves on call anyway, and we circled and we looked for the remains of the downed aircraft. And that was John F. Kennedy Jr.'s plane.
Yep.
So
no one else felt the boat for that.
I don't know. You may have been there.
Yeah.
No, I think I was at MK school.
No, it was before that. But
it was way before. It was the beginning of I was relatively new on the boat, maybe a year only, not even.
Okay. The next story comes out of Kenya. And my question to you is, Zippy, do you love the woman of your life?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you die for the woman of your life?
Sure. Depends on what's in it. What's fun.
Would you kill for the woman of your life?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know. This sounds a little extreme. Two married men fight to the death with machetes over a woman.
Yeah.
Two married men in Kenya who are cattle traders by profession have fought to the death after slashing each other over a woman. The men are reported to have fought at Oljere in Gilgil, subcountry of Kenya, leaving viewers in shock as they attack each other. One had his neck completely severed and died on the spot. The other died after arriving at a nearby health center.
Nobody wins a machete fight.
No.
That good.
It said both men who were married did not know each other until Wednesday morning when one of them found the other having breakfast in the woman's house.
Ooh,
so these two guys, they caught each other. They flipped the nut. They both pulled out machetes, and they said, "Let's go." And unfortunately, they both died.
Sounds like the one guy found him in his house, right? He was in his house.
No. They both.
Was it two married guys both boning the same chick on the side? Was that what it was?
Bing, bing, bing. Okay. That's what happened. That's what happened.
What country did this happen in? What country?
Kenya. It was in Kenya.
Africa.
I actually saw, this is going to freak out. This freaks me out, actually. I actually saw the remains, the corpse of that had been in a machete duel with two other people.
Oh, shit.
And the person that was the corpse was a third cousin of mine. His name was John the Baptist. In Puerto Rico, there's a barrio called Mabu. And the nickname for the barrio is Pásmalo y no lo corte, which means, roughly means hit him with the blunt side of the blade. Spare his life. Don't cut him. In other words, the blunt side, because you were almost guaranteed to get into some sort of fight back in the day. This when I say back in the day, I'm talking about, I think the 40s or 50s when these people were young and just reckless. Damn. This particular guy was always sneaking to other people's land, like killing a calf of theirs, taking it into the mountains and roasting it. You know what I mean? He was just kind of a bad seed. Well, he married a woman whose two brothers were badasses, and they lived up on the hill, like up in the hills, in this barrio. And they found out that this guy, John the Baptist, had cut one of her breasts, and they vowed vengeance on him. So one day he was drunk, and he went up there and challenged them. And they came down. He confronted them. They came down, the two brothers, and he put his machete down and said, "Guys, we shouldn't do this. This is not the way we should do it." And the second the other guys put their machetes down, he suckered and whacked and got one guy right here, ting, in the skull, and it just went that far. And he pulled it back out, and it didn't kill him, and it didn't incapacitate him. It just pissed him off. And backed this guy up. And everyone in the barrio is yelling, "Se mataron a Bautista, mataron a Bautista," which means you can hear it echoing in the hills. They've killed John the Baptist. They've killed John the Baptist. and everyone was going up. The road had just been retarred because they have to retard every year because of the flooding and the heavy rain during the months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was going up this slippery thing. We got to go see this, because there's a bunch of Puerto Ricans, man. We're like curious about shit like that.
It's not every day
I'd
you
be
see a
curious
machete
to see
attack.
what happens in a machete attack? Yeah, I'd be like, hey, especially if I'm not doing anything, we're like, hey, let's go check
It
that out.
was gnarly, dude. Never ever get into a machete duel with anybody.
No,
Like you said, no one wins.
No, I'm good with that.
absolutely.
That has come up. They said that one time he was down in the town of Humacao, and someone was going, hey, today's my birthday. Hoy mi cumpleaños, hoy mi cumpleaños. And he goes, oh yeah, happy birthday, yes, and cut the guy like across his
Jeez.
but just to cut the guy.
So that guy wasn't very nice. So
That's what an a-hole was. So no one was sorry when they hacked him up.
no, they just all dug a hole and said, get rid of him. No more John the Baptist.
Oh man,
Crazy.
that is a
They
gnarly
put his plate on
story.
a silver platter.
It is. I had to when she because you don't get the chance to throw in your machete duel just now and then at a party. Someone's got to be talking about a machete duel, and you're like, oh, I got one. Not firsthand, thank God.
Okay, we're about done with news. And make sure everyone sticks around. Church bells. So, Roy police, multiple children hospitalized after eating THC-infused candy from a food bank. How terrible is that? In Roy, Utah, police in Roy say dozens of families received food bags from the Utah Food Bank that contains candy infused with THC, the main active ingredient in cannabis. According to Facebook posts from the Roy City Police Department, 3 or 4 medicated nerds ropes, which I don't know what a nerds rope is, were placed in each bag, and 63 of those bags were
nerds. They're like those candies. They're on ropes. It's like almost like a piece of licorice, but nerds are attached to it. I've
like
seen
a long
them.
piece of
Yeah,
twine.
they're delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were placed in each bag, and 63 of those bags were distributed to 63 families from the food bank's distribution point at Roy Baptist Church.
Listen, I got to find that food bank. Usually,
No,
it says the candy packets are labeled as containing 400 milligrams of THC per 26-gram rope. They also have warning labels to keep away from children or animals. And my biggest question is, we know these things are expensive. How do they wind up at a food bank? I for one have a medical card, and I have to tell you that it's an expensive hobby. It is. I have to really, budget myself if I want to use my medical card, and it's definitely nothing that I want to throw into a food bank. I mean,
how do you make that mistake?
Somebody pissed off right now with a lot of regular rope candy.
Yeah.
I'm eating like 10 of these and I can't get a buzz.
It's like, this is bullshit. I got ripped off.
They cost.
Yeah, I know they say edibles take a long time to kick in, but this has been like 3 hours.
They cost anywhere from $15 to $55.
Yeah.
One.
I've eaten one of them.
Yeah, on one. Yeah.
So that's a lot of money.
Also,
He gave me
400 milligrams of THC, that is no fucking joke. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
And our final news segment is Hobby Lobby closing all stores, issuing mass furloughs. Wah, wah, wah. After quietly reopening stores across the country in defiance of the coronavirus-related state lockdown orders, Hobby Lobby is closing all doors nationally and furloughing employees without pay. In a statement posted on the company's website on Friday afternoon, Hobby Lobby announced it will furlough nearly all store employees without pay and is ending, this is the kicker, is ending emergency leave pay and suspending use of company-provided paid time off and benefits and vacation time. I know everybody has their issue with Hobby Lobby, and, I don't want to get into that, but I don't understand how they are taking away people's leave Their emergency leave pay, their vacation time, their sick pay. It's all they're shit canning it all, and I don't understand.
That's kind of a dick move.
It is a dick move.
Yeah. I know.
Filing bankruptcy now, and that's why they're going to get away with it.
I don't know, man. There's Hobby Lobbies everywhere, and honestly, Hobby Lobbies has a lot of good odds and ends you can put. If you're looking for knickknacks or just decorative things, it's a cool store to go to. They have stuff. But
I never went to one yet. I've never.
I don't know. I did used to shop there when I first got started and needed to get things in the house. Hobby Lobby was there's always sales there. Buy one get one.
Started with what hobby did you have? This is interesting. Let's continue.
No, Hobby Lobby. Yeah. Hobby Lobby's not a hobby store, but when all you have is a couch and a TV, and you need a few more things to put in your house, it's a good store to go to.
I thought you had like model planes or model cars, or like that. What I just always thought. Trains.
They have a good section for actual hobbies, but most of the store is just accent pieces.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
It's like a big section, like the home section at Target. It's like a big version of that.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
All right.
Got like art supplies and stuff like that too.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen one driving by, but I always thought that's what it was. Puzzles, such things like that.
And that's it. That's the news as we know it.
We are now more informed.
Yes, we are now more informed. Oh, there was one more. There was one more piece. John sent me, and I didn't mean to talk about it. So HBO is offering free streaming right now. And John, do you remember?
Porn?
Yes. Porn.
HBO late night.
Like Skinamax?
Don't they talk to hookers? Wasn't there something about hookers they used to do back in the day?
I don't know.
Taxi cab confessional.
Yeah.
I think the wife thought I was doing it in here. She like peeked her head in, and I had to go talk to her. And she's like, "What are you doing in there?" She's like, "You're never in the computer room." And she's like, "Are you looking at porn?" And I'm like, "No."
Just
Probably
internet porn.
Probably.
I'm like, no.
About 45 minutes ago, maybe.
Like, holy shit.
Not right now. Not right now. So is everyone still doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah, Skinamax is treating me well.
Good deal. All right. That is not the sound that I wanted. Give me a second. Zippy, talk for a second.
We'll edit this in post.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so
say that because I was expecting to do this yesterday, I did not eat any edibles or drink or get crazy or anything because I was so paranoid. I'm used to playing on the guitar, and this banjo is a new thing for me. So
yeah, banjo is fun.
When I come in clean, I don't like to be high when I play because I just don't want to forget shit.
Now, did you ever use that to find
yesterday? I didn't think we were going to do it today. It was too late, so I already ate an edible.
Yeah.
But isn't that
I got the news that it was a go. You guys might get a little bizarre version of this.
That's all right.
Let's do it.
Okay, wait. Okay, so this is bar trivia, gentlemen. We are having bar trivia.
Yeah.
Okay, and how this works is, since we've never played before, I did make the quiz a little bit easy just so we get used to the format. And so I am going to ask a question. When I ask the question and you know the answer, do not say the answer because there will be a buzzer yes, buzzer no. And if everybody says it at the same time, then I don't know who's saying what. So when you know the answer, say your name. I'll call your name. Then you give the answer.
How about we do this?
Bingo!
Gerbil.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Yes.
Okay. All right. Question number 1. And Carlos, you can feel free to join. It's name any song on Nirvana's
beer?
Nevermind.
Breed.
Josh.
Jonathan.
Okay. Who said Josh?
Yeah, I got it. What is it? Smells Like Teen Spirit. Is that the one? Or Teen Spirit? I don't know. I don't like Nirvana, so.
Smells Like Teen Spirit was the first song on Nevermind.
There you go.
That is correct. That is correct. I'm working with my sounds right now. So, Josh, 1 point for Josh. You guys got to keep track of your own points. Okay, and remember to say your name when you know the answer. Okay, what band did Paul McCartney form in 1971?
Jonathan.
John?
Wings.
Yeah, definitely didn't know that one.
Yeah, I did not either.
Okay.
I almost said the Beatles.
Yeah. Question.
No,
Okay,
no.
there are 12 questions, and if we have a tie, the 13th will be bonus. Paul Stanley wears the Star Child makeup in what band?
Jonathan.
Rob.
Whoops. John, go ahead.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Kiss? Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Okay. Question number 4. 19 and 21 were the first 2 albums of what English singer? John again.
Adele.
Killing it.
What the
Hey,
bejesus? I
John
thought this
for
was-
the win.
it.
Obviously, John knows music.
Okay. Christian, the next question you should get. This question is for you, Christian. Although everyone should know it. Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone was a hit on what soundtrack?
John.
Oh my God.
John.
You don't know it. Come on.
It's fucking Top Gun.
All right, Christian, I'm throwing you a bone. I'll give you that one. Wait, I can't give it until next time. Say your name. You're not. Oh my God. Okay. Question number 6. So 1 point for Christian. John, how many points you got?
3.
Like a billion?
Okay. Calvin Brodus is the real name of what rapper?
Rob?
Rob?
Is it 50 Cent?
Whoops.
No, he's Curtis Jackson.
Jackson.
That's Curtis Jackson.
Say it again.
No texting, Josh.
I'm not texting.
Calvin
No
Brodus?
getting on. Calvin Brodus is the real name of what rapper?
Is it Snoop Dogg? Josh, is it Snoop Dogg?
It is Snoop Dogg.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good guess.
I was going to say 50 Cent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. I was like,
Okay.
Jackson.
You look like a Calvin Brodus.
Okay.
Brodus.
So we were on to question number 7. What country is home to ABBA and the Cardigans?
John.
Josh.
John?
Sweden.
Sweden is right. Okay, question number 8. And let's see, Carlos, I'm guessing you will get this one. What was the name of U2's debut album?
John.
John?
John. I got it.
John, you know it?
Boy.
Wow. You do know that. I didn't picture you for a U2 person.
Oh, I'm not. I hate Bono, and their rhythm section is garbage.
Wow.
But you
That's
know the name of
hard.
their
That's
first
hard.
album.
John.
Okay,
Hey, guys,
okay.
here's what happened. So when Stevie Ray Vaughan died a long time ago,
Uh-huh.
they sent him up to rock and roll heaven. And when he got up there, they said, "Come on, we'll give you the tour, Stevie Ray." And they take him down this boulevard, huge wide boulevard, and every club had like, $500,000 worth of PA, and it was just awesome. And he's blown away. He sees Janis Joplin live, and he sees some other like Ray Charles live, and just sees all these great old school people. And then at the very end of the road was this palace, and he goes, what's over there? He goes, "Oh no, you don't want to go." He goes, "No, I got to see that." So he goes down, and it's Bono, and these Bono's just rocking out. Not even the band, he's just karaokeing himself. And he goes, "I didn't know Bono died." And the guy goes, "No, that's not Bono, that's God. He just thinks he's Bono."
That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, good.
No.
Funny. Okay.
I love the sound of U2. I do. I don't know if rhythm section is what I would even describe the other musicians as. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't follow any format for what we would call a rhythm section.
No, I meant the bassist and the drummer.
Songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bassist and the drummer aren't exactly the best. The Edge is an amazing guitarist. That dude's killer.
Dude, did you see This May Get Loud?
Yeah, It Might Get Loud. Yeah, it's a great.
Yeah, It Might Get Loud. Isn't that great?
Love that. Absolutely.
Great one. All right, we're done.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So what are we? We're on question number 9.
Nice.
Which singer starred as Jareth in the film Labyrinth?
Oh, John.
David Bowie.
John?
Yep, David Bowie. Exactly.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you had to call out your name.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll give it to
you. Okay, wait, yeah, fine.
Squirrel.
Yeah, you
One
get
point.
one
I got a
mistake.
point.
Yeah,
It's not like John
Carlos, you
needs
got
it
one.
anyway.
Exactly.
Okay. Question number 10. What's everyone's points at right now?
I got 2.
0.
5, I think?
1.
I got 1.
Okay. Question number 10. What Usher #1 single featured Lil Jon and Ludacris? John, go ahead.
Too fast.
Yeah.
I that is incorrect. You have to say it.
Rob.
Say it right. You have to say it right.
Hey, yeah? No?
No,
I'm gonna give it back to John.
You mean
but he needs
yeah?
Yeah.
What?
I know you can't.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
I'm gonna have to
So-
listen to that one.
No, you don't. You should not.
Yeah.
What beverage? This is question number 11. What beverage was the title of a hit song by Khalees?
John? Milkshake?
John?
oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Correct. Can you?
I'm like, who's Khalees?
John? Can you sing a line? Can you sing a line for
A
us?
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
It probably does, man. It probably
Oh
does.
man.
Oh yeah. you
Okay. I think everybody should be able to try to answer this question but John. So, question number 12. The Stratocaster is a model of which guitar maker?
Josh.
Josh?
Is it Gibson?
No, Rob. Fender.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's right.
There you go. You're on the board.
I got a
You got
point.
me.
Okay. Okay, wait, and this is a bonus question worth 1,000 points. 1,000 points. Name either Gallagher brother from the band
John.
Oasis. John?
Yeah, he's too fast.
Noel and Liam.
No, he gave him both. So ding, 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 ding.
Listen, I can tell you're a music
Got
fan.
4,000
A little
points.
bit.
Yeah.
Well, 2,000 points.
Even Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm more into movies.
6. No, 3. What?
Okay. Dick, just a second. Carry it for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
King karaoke? Is that what you said? Oh. Well, all right, gentlemen. We are. Carlos,
Okay, I had to step away for a minute. So where we're going to now, let me introduce our guest. So I know you guys don't know him, but I personally do. And they say never to meet your favorite musician. Well, I can tell you, destroy that myth, because I've met my favorite musician, one of my favorite musicians. I love the guy. I love his music. Carlos Olmeda. He is joining us.
Welcome, Carlos.
Carlos, how you doing, man?
I'm going crazy.
Good. So, Carlos, I first
I haven't
met
worked
you.
out in almost a month, dude.
You haven't worked? Yeah, me either.
My doctor said I have to lose weight, man. I'm going to call him up and go, hey, this is what do they say? This is a necessity, whatever the heck. I'll come in at midnight. I don't care.
You got to
I
run
know.
a marathon in your backyard.
Yeah.
That's what you
Even when
gotta
I'm
do,
in
man.
shape, I don't run. No, that's a lie, actually. I do.
It only takes 5
Yeah,
hours.
it's
You can do a
chasing
marathon
me.
in 5 hours.
What else you got to do?
Yeah, just run a marathon, man.
Just run around your yard 2,000 times.
Yeah. I think it was 7, but who's counting once you pass 1,000, right?
Gotta be 3 or 4,000.
So I first met Carlos in 1996. Although we never met back then. I used to go see him. I was living in San Diego, and it was at the coolest place. It was a place that's no longer around, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, it's no longer around. It was a coffee shop on Ocean Beach in San Diego called Java Joe's. And at the time, Java Joe's was hot. There were artists coming through. At the time Carlos was playing there, you had Jewel playing there. You had Jason Mraz playing there. They were playing there just to get started. And Carlos was playing there at the same time. And these are all friends of Carlos. Well, they're old colleagues of Carlos. I don't know where they stand, but they came up at the same time. They were in the same music scene. And Carlos had a huge following at that time. And that was when I discovered him. And it was a really cool, interesting time in my life. It was a time where that point in your early adulthood where you're no longer a boy and you suddenly realize you're a guy, you're a real person. And at that time, there's usually a couple artists that you're really into and you know all their songs and you can sing them by heart. That was Carlos for me. And I used to go weekly. He had this show at Java Joe's every Thursday and it was free. I was broke, so it worked out. And I used to go see him every single Thursday. I used to go see him. And his music is phenomenal. It'll put you in a very good place. But I'm getting away from myself. Carlos, take it from here. I'm just talking too much. I'm fanboying out.
First of all, whoa, that's awesome. I can't even, I will say this. Java Joe's was a really fun place to be able to push yourself to write good songs. Because it was, at the time, one of the premier coffee houses in California because the coffee house scene itself as a separate scene from bars, not that developed. And Java Joe's was one of the first ones that created a literal community from thousands of people that would, instead of going to a bar, they'd go to the bar before or afterwards.
Yeah.
They would go there just to hear original music because they had gotten used to going, okay, these guys don't fuck around. They don't sound like some of them do sound like my neighbor next door. They're all pushing themselves to write these good songs and, do the next big thing for themselves. So it was a really fun time to be there. And what I did was I set up what they call an internship where every Wednesday night I would book it as study hall because there were all these colleges around. So people would come in and they'd study. And that's where you first started catching the thing. And at the time, I was trying to make the transition I was making the transition from straight folk and classic rock stylings to more of an alternative sound because I felt like I had to keep up with somebody. But it turned out to be a bunch of BS. It's the people weren't after a specific sound there. They were after good songs. So you could write anything. And I got away with some of the weirdest stuff that was not current, a current sound. It was just what I sounded like. And that's why I was in heaven. Because I had a group of people that I could book between 4 and 8 shows a month around, Southern California. And it would be full of people that knew that I wrote songs that they liked. See what I mean? And up here in Maine, I do covers galore because they don't have that scene. People's ears are what I call small for originals because they're not thinking of, oh, this guy, I've never heard of him, but the people say he's got good stuff. You know what I mean? They don't have that so much. They just go, oh yeah, play the latest, whatever the heck, which I love doing because I make good money doing that too.
Yeah.
I make a lot of money.
Gotta pay the bills, man.
Yeah, I make a lot more money now playing covers than I ever did playing original shit. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Carlos, so you're in Maine now. So how did you transition from Southern California to Maine?
Well, I have a friend who we've known each other since we were kids. And when she moved out here, after almost a decade of her living out here, we started a dialogue on Facebook. And that dialogue grew into me saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to come out to Maine. And lo and behold, in San Diego, I used to get really like completely wasted 6, sometimes 7 times a year.
I
I
thought that was going to be 6-7 nights a week.
Yeah, that's what
they made me go pro when I came out here, and I was just getting hammered about at least 5 nights a week here until my doctor said, hey, you officially weigh almost 283 pounds and you're diabetic. And, so I went, holy no way, there's no way that's going to happen. So I just spent the last year and a half just cutting out my alcohol content and just hitting the gym all the time. And I took off like 45 pounds. And
nice.
Yeah, so I'm on a quest, you know. But then this thing came along, and I'm like, give me bread, give me sugar, and I'm even going to drink vodka. Fuck
Yeah.
Well,
It counts as a vegetable,
vernacular.
right?
But yeah, no. When you knew me, it was all about writing and playing original music for people who were going, what? That's the big thing for me is if I play a show, for my fan base, they all know it. You know, the majority of them know what they're going to like about it. But if I play for someone who's never heard me, I've got this weird handicap because I write in so many different styles that if I do like what I'm doing tonight, we're not going to be able to help but think, oh, that's what Carlos does. He gets on the banjo and does acoustic instrumental stuff, you know, in this weird style. But it won't be true. It'll only be a little tiny piece of what I actually do. So what I have to be happy with just a look of surprise that the music itself doesn't sound like just the guy next door who started, you know, oh, I'm writing songs now, you know. It's a big thrill for me to do originals out here. You know, it's a privilege.
Now, have you left your West Coast sound and picked up something that people identify more with being in Maine, or have you just brought it with you?
Well, that's one of the, oh, thank God. That's a great question. Well, what I'm going to play tonight, all 3 songs that I'm going to do on the banjo are songs that I've either already recorded. One of them I've already recorded, and 2 of them, 2 of them I've already recorded, and then the third one I still had in my sort of repertoire. But the thing is, I'm used to playing guitar. I was used to playing guitar. I've only had this. A friend of mine gave it to me here.
Yeah.
Less than 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to hear these songs in a completely different soundscape. Simply by playing them on this instrument instead of on my guitar, I'm suddenly transported to 1930, to 1940, 40 and 30, around that time period, maybe late 20s, maybe roaring 20s. I'm not sure exactly, but in that few decades, simply because it sounds that way. And I realized, holy crap, I actually wrote these songs that are more in the style of this old school, but I didn't know it because I was playing them on guitar, and I just thought, oh, these are pretty, they're melodic, there's a lot of texture to the finger work, and it doesn't sound like the blues. You know what I mean? And it doesn't sound like straight folk, and it sounds more like a Broadway show. What's going on?
They are fun to play.
Yeah, my friend turned me on to this. $160. She got this on the internet.
Nice.
Rest her soul. She died in Hawaii. That's a whole nother weird story, but I won't get into that. Rest her soul.
Well, before you get started, can you what's around your neck?
Oh no. I'm seeing a woman who knows how to crochet really well. She made me a COVID virus. I'm going to take a toothpick and a piece of white, thick, paper, and I'm going to make a sign that says "back off," or back the F off, or something.
6 feet, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I got the bid.
Got the bid, motherfucker. Matter of fact, oh, by the way, this segment of the show is called Co-Video 2020.
Okay, man. Hey, Carlos, well, you can just take it from here. We're excited.
All right. You heard that introduction song at the beginning, and it was going this fast. And it's so slow, I didn't realize when I was recording it. And then when I learned it on this thing, I went, are you kidding me? It's called A Hummingbird in Belfast. I wrote that for the folks that in their 37 Bambi Road, as Falls Northern Ireland back in 1997 when I was out there on vacation.
That was awesome.
Nice.
You gonna play a devil like me?
Oh, I'm not actually. I'm too stoned to do that one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're looking up his music, man. Good job.
Yeah, I was just like, all right.
Devil Like Me is a really it's a really beautiful song.
Yeah.
At weddings, I played it at weddings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's about a guy saying to the woman, he's like, "Oh shit, how in the world was I able to? How is it that you found it in your heart to be with a devil like me?" You know what I mean? So
Nice.
Yeah, but it's about really deeper meaning on that one. It's about not being the kind of person that took responsibility for themselves in a relationship. So
yeah, you got a bunch of songs here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, I've got. I would say I'm getting up to around 170 songs.
Wow, that's awesome.
The thing is, I don't write 20 songs a year. I won't beat a dead horse. If I don't believe a song has a hit potential, or at least the potential to move an absolute stranger on the other side of the world without them knowing me, or even worse case scenario, with them knowing me and not liking me. If I don't think that they would at least, if they didn't know me, go, wow, I like that song. And even if they met me, go, what a dick. They'd have to go, well, but I do like that song. So that's what I've been going for over the years. And that's what allowed me to write different styles and such, because it's not about the style, it's about the song itself. Ooh, how do I craft the song so that, you know, people will be surprised when they hear it that, whoa, he wrote that shit? Because I like using that phrase that I do. Oh, yeah, I wrote that shit.
Now, playing as many years as you've been playing, because I know it's been a lot. First, who's your inspiration when you got started? And second, who's your inspiration today?
Oh, I've been playing guitar since I was 6. So
Okay.
I would say, a total of maybe 3 weeks worth of lessons. And I couldn't do it because I have this weird sort of a dyslexia with the dots moving on the page. You know what I mean? It's like a, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, or like I say, it's a special dyslexia. Even reading, although I've always read at a good level, even then I have to really concentrate, or the words look like they're all moving around. So yeah, since I was 6. And when I first started playing guitar, I was 6, and really what I was listening to, I didn't realize this till later, but I was listening to a lot of Latin music from 1930s that my mom was listening to in 1940s, and tango music from a guy named Carlos Gardel.
Okay.
Always had asthma and respiratory issues. And he sang with this very forcefully, almost operatic style, where silencio en la noche, ya todo está en calma, el músculo duerme, la ambición descansa. And I'm like, fuck, that guy is really like into it, right? So when I started singing, I was pushing a lot of air through asthma lungs. And then Cat Stevens came out, and it sounded more like Cat Stevens than Carlos Gardel. So people would go, oh yeah, Cat Stevens. And I, of course, loved the music that he was writing at the time. So my actual idols, if you could call them that, my heroes for music were like the Beatles and Elvis and Latin trio music, that harmony kind, you know. You get the Spanish one later on and do one that sounds like they wrote it in the 30s or something. And every other kind of music, because my mom had all those big 33s, they were called Music from Around the World. So she was always putting those on, and she was a very spiritual woman. And she believed that you had to embrace all cultures, or you had no way of knowing how closely related you are as human beings. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, as long as you're over there, I'm accepting you. Of course, it's hard to be, isolated that way if you're Puerto Rican anyway, because culturally and genetically, we are a mestizo of at least three races and 3 cultures, because of our location in the New World.
Are you saying I can call myself a mestizo?
If you have at least 2
I would love to.
things, yeah. Although I guess over time people think of it as a Latin, an Indian thing. You know what I mean?
Come on, they only think of Blue Diamond Phillips. And I'm okay with that if I can be compared. But thanks, man. So what else you got for us tonight? Cool that you're here.
Here's one called this one's called Ocean Avenue, and it goes into, I go from this song to a song called Don't Cry No More. And I'm going to sing it in a very old, I wish I had one of those mics that sounded like this. Don't cry no more.
I promise you through the Zoom app, you'll probably sound like that. So it's okay.
So that's the tail end. It goes from Ocean Avenue to Don't Cry No More. That's the edible. Ah!
Nice.
Right, man. That's good.
Don't cry no more unless you get your big toe caught in the door. Don't cry no more unless you super glue a limb to that freak next door. One little smile, get your face good and ready for 1,000 score. Baby, baby, don't cry no more. And baby, don't cry no more. 'Cause it'll make you look 100 when you're 94. Don't cry no more. Truth is, you're getting to be a crashing ball. Want my advice? Better keep for your eyes go red and so. Baby, baby, don't cry no more. Oh, I know you might have minimized your worries and your woes. But if you don't stop whining, we're so very going to come and blow. So let go of the frown, unless you got a big fat head that's perfectly round. Sorry, don't cry no more, unless of course you tried to sneak up and heard a bubbly sound. You're not so down. I bet you never woke up 6 feet underground. Baby, baby, don't cry now. Baby, baby, don't cry now. Baby, baby, don't cry now. Do us both the favor before I poke you in the eye. Baby, baby. don't need mayday, don't cry no more. Don't cry no more. Baby, baby, don't cry no more. Good night, Maine. Good night, Harrison.
That was awesome. So the very first record I got turned on by Carlos was this one. And what's the name of the album? Because
Learning to Walk.
Learning to Walk. I always get it wrong. And it's Learning to Walk. I actually do love this album. I just can never remember the name. So how can people find your music, man?
I don't know. I have a website.
Oh, it's on Amazon Music.
Okay,
There you
All
go.
that stuff, Sensitive Grooves.
Amazon.
It's on
I
Amazon.
say the
Yes,
best way is to
yeah.
come to a show if I'm in a town near you.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Yeah, hold of it, because that'll give you. I'm able to do. I have
Oh, you're on Spotify too. Hey.
Yeah.
You're on Apple Music.
Got it. Jonathan with Spotify. But yeah, no, come see us.
Spanish 101 for lovers.
Spanish guanoguan.
Spanish.
Spanish guanoguan
I know.
para amantes.
Pinchy gringo fucking don't know shit.
That's one thing I've noticed is that because of music, I'm able to really get away with literally not just being tolerated, but assimilating not just one culture, but so many different cultures. If I can hear the culture, then I am in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I can hear it, I'm there in it, you know? And so I can do stuff in Spanish just without without it goes from 0 to 90. When I sing in Spanish, if you hadn't seen me on screen and it was just you just heard music, you'd go, oh, that's got to be a different person, you know what I mean? Because it goes there, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, be really coming on to that edible now.
What do you have one more for us before it kicks in and you go to sleep?
Let's do let's try this one. The thing about banjos is
it dies so quick.
You gotta tune them while you're playing.
As long as I don't hear any.
Yeah, that's good. I wrote this song. This is one of my latest songs. I'm going to do a disclaimer because, like I say, I wasn't thinking of playing tonight at all. So I had eaten that edible. I don't smoke. I don't do anything that affects my throat. As a rule, this COVID thing is a reason for me to do an edible. You know what I mean, and get away with it, so to speak. But I don't do anything that affects my throat because even if I'm in tune, it just feels different to me. You know what I mean? I like to be able to just go, not worry about anything. And I'm so like tuned in. Oh, what does it sound like? What does it sound like? What's it sounding like? How does this feel? Am I getting through to the folks? I'm very, very present when I do that. So if I'm stoned, it can make me really paranoid. But the other thing is when I play, I literally spend at least an hour during the day just warming up my throat. I get a straw and I go, put the straw in my mouth. I go, ooh. Ooh, just let my throat really relax because I'm kind of a paranoid guy and I'm a little ADHD. So when I start, I have to really fight to relax to do what I do. And so anyway, I wrote this next song because I wanted to get a feel of what it would be like, what would be a good background sound for a scene in a movie where a madman is in the hills. It's like Appalachia, you know. It's in those big rolling hills. Something that has a feeling of like that down south. I lived in the South from the time I was 1 till I was 6. So it really, a lot of that musical feel has its seeds in what I do now. That's why when I book myself, I tell the agents that I do multicultural alternative music so that they don't freak out when I'm suddenly going. I have to stand up. I never sit down and sing. I drink in the morning, raise a head high noon. I slip into madness for a howl at the moon. I'll sing a song about love, ain't that a bittersweet tune? That is over a lifetime too soon. I am charmed by a woman with eyes dark and deep, by the river of tears that flows over her breast. It's those eyes shall beguile me awake and in sleep, till I have died with you safe in my chest. And it's a goodbye, my darling, my baby, my sweet tree, please do not cry. 'Cause in the end, you may find that on the dark of the moon, just as warm as the sun in the sky. She'd searched over the mountains, from over the sea, for a place where her morning would not make her cry. But in the end was New Mexico that whispered her name. The Magdalenas are a fine alibi. Well, I once took a lover, bewitching as you, and I cannot take another to this very day. So let me drink from your whiskey, sleep in your arms, and by daybreak I'll be on my way. And I will drink in the morning, raise a head high. holler, singing to madness, or a howl at the moon, or sing a song about love. Ain't that a bittersweet tune that is over a lifetime too soon? Let's go, my darling, my baby, bye-bye. Sweet tea, you please do not cry. 'Cause in the end, you will find that all dark of the moon just as warm as the sun in the sky. So baby, bye-bye. Hey, John, hey, John, hey, John, hey, John,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. Good night.
That was awesome. That was really good.
So I love singing in big places because I have this weird paranoia when I'm in a smaller room that certain songs they need a big space to live in so that when you sing them out it doesn't seem maudlin, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's one of those songs. It has to sound like a man who's on the edge of his sanity, you know what I mean? And
We got many of them here in the same chat room.
I'll drink to that.
Absolutely.
Drink to that as well.
Hey, well, it's been a lot of fun, you guys, hanging out.
It has been. It has been. Carlos, thank you for joining us tonight. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I wanted Carlos on the show is right now, musicians are artists. They're not being paid right now. There's a lot of people not being paid right now. And we really want to, when we get off work in the evenings, we go out to restaurants, we go out to bars, and a lot of times we go out to see live music. And Carlos is, he's the people we go to see. And so how are you staying afloat right now, and what can people do to help out?
Well, the truth is, because I had the summer booked already, I would have been having a really great season. Actually, I started out playing in small restaurants in Maine just to have a place to. Now I play resorts instead. So I've been able to go from like 3 gigs a year at the resorts to almost 30 gigs a year at the resorts. So this thing is really taking a bite out of my income right now. Excuse me, looks like my battery's low. I have to plug it in.
So if you want to know how you can find more from Carlos, you can go to his website. It's carlosolmedamusic.com. CarlosOlmeda music.com. carlosolmeda.music or carlosolmedamusic.com. There you go.
What I will do is if something cool's coming up, I'll get in touch with Jeff and say, hey, let the guys know that, I'm going to be doing this podcast or that podcast or whatever the heck.
Carlos, when you say a season, what do you mean? Like, what's the time frame usually?
The winter season is really killer here, as well as the summer season. We're in between. Usually autumn and spring are the slow seasons.
Okay.
But I lucked out. Like I say, I had them pre-booked.
You don't get leafers in Maine?
Keepers? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Oh.
We have this highway that connects us with New Hampshire.
You guys are talking lingo that is foreign to me. What do you mean leapers?
Leafers are people who come to watch
Leafers?
the change. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Like
Okay.
I know here it's huge in the fall because everybody comes to see the leaves change colors.
Yeah.
So
All the New Yorkers go up there.
yeah.
Beautiful. The White Mountains, basically, the Kankamagus Highway. They call it the Kank,
Okay.
and it's just lined for, I want to say, 20 miles with people from all over the world stopping to see from the view.
The kink, not to be mistaken with the taint.
Yeah, the Taintamangus, the Tankamaximus.
Carlos, so is your current schedule still active, or is everything
Well,
canceled?
it's all booked. It's all booked, but I can't do any shows until at least May 1st.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. So,
Well, you can definitely find his music on Amazon, Spotify. It's all there. I just bought one of his albums today, so it's all still there.
Start doing weekly concerts where people can just Venmo me. If they think the song is worth, that performance of the song is worth $1, they can send me $1.
Okay. Yeah, I've noticed that recently with a lot of friends that do bands. They've been posting them on Facebook bands, and then you can Venmo and stuff like that.
Okay.
If you want to donate to them or anything like that. I've noticed that with some of my friends who perform too.
When I'm doing the resorts, I tell people, I make an announcement usually at the beginning of the show that if you're thinking of tipping anyone $100 tonight, make sure you tip the waitresses and the bartender, because I'm doing the playing. But it sets them in a frame of mind where they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's okay to tip this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to see how that works out.
Well, man, we're here for support. Whatever we can do, we can do.
Well, just for the name, so that if ever I'm coming through your area, you can go, oh yeah, that guy. Oh no, I know Carlos. We hung out on video.
Yeah.
We hung out.
100%, Carlos.
Co-video 2020.
I think you know me well enough that if you ever came to Cincinnati, I would make it a big deal. So, yeah, don't worry about that.
All right, you guys, be good.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight, man. It was a great show.
Thank you to the lady who owns it.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Carlos.
Right,
thanks again.
All right, cool. All right, boys. How you doing, Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just like, woo! I gotta keep it all in and keep it.
Hey, listen, a little wildness is always good, I think.
Hell yeah.
It was good. It was good. John, how you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Good. Fish, how you doing, man?
Good.
Oh, you're still with us. Good.
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, no, everyone was quiet because Carlos was playing, and I didn't know who was still on, you know?
We were following the orders. Put your thing on mute.
That's right.
Yeah, following the rules.
It's good. Hey, so does anybody have anything else tonight? Anybody? Fish, you have anything?
No, man. I'm tired from all this sitting around.
I am definitely feeling that as well.
I'm like so tired, and I'm sleeping, 8 hours, 10 hours, and I'm still tired. I'm not used to sitting still like this. We're always moving, doing stuff.
How are you keeping active right now?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my schoolwork, and the kids just started the online school stuff last week, and it is a freaking pain in the ass. Like 6 different apps each day they have to go.
It is ridiculous. I've been homeschooling my kids, and I'm just saying that I'm doing a fine job doing it myself. I found first grade textbooks, and I'm going off that.
Yeah.
And they're wanting us to do so many different things, and it's just, I don't have time in my day to log into what you want me to log into and record everything you want me to record. It's like, at some point I should be compensated for doing your job.
Yeah.
And that's not even on the table. So
They're starting to grade the kids next week. I got last week and this week free. Then they're going to start grading them.
You're not doing that here.
How
okay. Honestly, and I never say this, but how easy of it a job is it to be a teacher right now? It's like, yeah, you have everyone else doing the work, and all you have to do is grade it. Screw that, man.
See, my kids' teachers are actually online with them. Like they have Zoom meetings, and she teaches and reads to them and all that stuff. But in Polk County, Florida, where I live, the kids aren't getting graded right now. So everyone passed, and it's up to the parents to make the decision if their kid needs to be held back or not. So they left it up to
that was actually on the table. You had to there was an email sent out that said,
"Yeah,
did you flunk your kid or not?"
Yeah, if your kid needs to be held back, it's the parents' decision right now.
Wow,
so there has got to be some big parents
shit
out there.
Yeah.
Well, I told my kids that we were messing with. I think it was April Fool's. Someone posted that they told their kids they had to repeat the school year.
That happened up
So
too.
that's what we told them. They weren't happy.
I tell my kids every day it's a dictatorship, not a democracy. I'm your teacher now, so you're gonna fucking learn this. That's it. There's no soft way. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm like, listen, you're gonna do it, or guess what? You're not gonna do shit. Pretty much it.
Dude, my youngest, you guys have met him. Jeff has. He's freaking crazy, and if he doesn't like something, he will just make your life miserable. So he will just do everything in his power to make you just give up.
Wow.
Like
for a few hours.
the first day we tried to do the homeschooling thing, my wife had some workbooks. I mean, there's simple stuff. Like Jameson, my youngest, is borderline genius. Like he's really smart. And I'm like, gave him about 45 minutes worth of schoolwork. 6 hours later, he finally finished it. And I'm like, if you would just put the amount of effort that you did of not doing it into doing it, we would have done hours ago. But
you named him after a whiskey. That's what happened.
Right. So, John, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Really got to take a piss, but
all right. Hey, well, we've been on for a minute, and I think everyone is entitled for a urination break. So why don't we say great show, gentlemen, and just call it a night. It's pushing 11 o'clock, and I know we got days tomorrow.
Yep.
Why did piss on the floor in your freaking room?
Right.
Well,
I got the wee-wee pads up.
I'm looking at this empty beer bottle.
That's all I've been doing. It's just peeing right in between my legs.
There you go.
I can't hang with the man in the hat.
I
can't hang with the man in the hat.
Puppy pads.
I got this one.
He's got a
There's shit on the floor. They have a plastic bottom so nothing leaks into the carpet.
Exactly, right?
That's why the wife was poking her head in. She caught that once and said, no more.
Yeah, that's why. She's like trying to potty train me, and I'm like, fuck this. I just shit in the corner of the room.
That'll show her.
You gotta mark my territory. There's pee all around the walls. It's like a wolf.
Oh, shit.
All right, gentlemen. Hey, great show tonight. Thanks for tuning in. All right, man.
All right.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
Hey.